At the heart of Sigenergy's BSS is advanced AI, designing to think, adapt, and optimize. It brings our customers a new level of intelligence for energy systems that truly understand and respond. Even in solar-only scenarios, the system is battery-ready, designed for seamless storage integration whenever needed. In the residential scenario, Sigenergy brings light, comfort, and peace of mind to homes around the world. Whether it's a centuries-old building or a school in mountains, Sigenergy brings reliable energy into the rhythm of daily living. By empowering homes and businesses, Sigenergy is not just shaping the future, it's transforming the way we live and thrive. Let everyone enjoy green energy and creating a world where energy independence is a reality for all. The world is entering a new era of energy. From climate shifts to rising demands, solar and storage become essential. Sigenergy builds intelligent energy solutions with all-round safety, ultra simplicity, and outstanding performance. Powering smarter living and business everywhere. In the commercial and industrial sector, what makes Sigenergy truly stand out? Innovative battery energy storage solution is the answer. Modular design allows for flexible scaling while simplifying installation. Commissioning is also faster, reducing both time and cost. Safety isn't just what we value, it's what we engineer. Sigenergy's business energy solution is built with comprehensive, uncompromising protection to perform reliably even in the harshest environments. The world is entering a new era of energy. From climate shifts to rising demands, solar and storage become essential. Sigenergy builds intelligent energy solutions with all-round safety, ultra simplicity, and outstanding performance. Powering smarter living and business everywhere. In the commercial and industrial sector, what makes Sigenergy truly stand out? Innovative battery energy storage solution is the answer. Modular design allows for flexible scaling while simplifying installation. Commissioning is also faster, reducing both time and cost. Safety isn't just what we value, it's what we engineer. Sigenergy's business energy solution is built with comprehensive, uncompromising protection to perform reliably even in the harshest environments.
Sziasztok! Üdvözlök mindenkit! Remélem mindenki itt van, aki szeretett volna, vagy most mondanám, hogy jelentkezzen, aki nincs itt. Hallotok jól, meg láttok minket? Chatben tudtok majd mindig visszajelzést adni nekünk. Addig is bemutatkozok, akivel esetleg nem találkoztunk volna személyesen, vagy még hasonló platformon. Én Márton Dávid vagyok, a Sigenergy Kft-nek az értékesítési vezetője. És a mai alkalommal a Sigenergy fog nektek bemutatkozni, a Sigenergy termékeket fogjuk nektek bemutatni. A eredeti terv, hogy 2 nyelven tartjuk, tehát az előadónk angolul fog, mi pedig fordítani fogjuk. Ez így megfelelő nektek, vagy pedig mindenki angolul beszél, és teljesen felesleges ezt fordítanunk. Hogyha fordítsuk menet közben magyarra, akkor azt majd légy szíves, azért írjátok már be. Ezt még megvárjuk. Jó, de addig is bemutatom nektek, oké, most itt az egyfő, hogy jó lehet angol is. Ettől függetlenül, itt vajon mindenkinek jó-e, ugye itt ez a kérdés. Vagy mindenkinek várjuk meg a válaszát. Eddig ketten írtatok. Nagyon-nagyon szívesen fordítjuk magyarra. Ha akár 1-2 embernek is szükséges, akkor ezt fordítani fogjuk végig. Okay, so let me introduce Martin from Sigenergy. Martin is responsible for sales, but he can introduce himself. And if it's not needed, because we told in the chat, maybe we can hold the webinar only in English, because everybody can speak English from the attendees.
Oh, that would be great. Dzień dobry, welcome from Poland. Exactly, Marcin, based in Warsaw and generally responsible for Sigenergy development for last nearly 2 years here locally. I'm really grateful for today's opportunity to be today and has opportunity to just present our astonishing products to you, to your market. And so maybe let's start. Yes. So the presentation is prepared for like 1.5 hours. If there will be any questions, especially technical questions, David will help to translate and just clarify some questions, especially to your local language. My presentation will be correlated especially with residential solution, but as well I would like to show the whole spectrum of the products. At the end, once again, I will play the video with the references, with the installations which we have already. So let me jump, especially first few slides, just to give you the information who we are and why Sigenergy is becoming one of the top manufacturers, especially in the storage segment, inverter segment. There is some kind of vision behind the company, vision to make especially storage products simple, just to make according to the market changes and how we see the market, we just would like to customize the product, especially towards the new requirements. So be the pioneer, be the company which is implementing new features to our product. So we are willing just to be the number one. And I was afraid, because this slide really exists like already from very beginning, and Tonias, our founder, was speaking, we willing to be pioneer, we willing to be number one. Right now I can say, and during this presentation especially, I would like to show you what we have implemented so far. No one ever, don't know if ever have implemented before us. So just giving you a brief introduction where the company has started and why. So our founder Tony used to work for one very well-known company all over the world, and he has his background experience in development of hardware. And meanwhile, he started his career with AI business. And after all, he found out this is the right path to approach the market, just implementing the new features, so new way of to approach the market, new way to compete on the market. So instead of providing just a reliable product with the good price, try to implement something new, which was AI at first. So new features which could be included in the app, new features which is fully correlated with the storage, so like EMS on this. So this is the reason how the company was established. And it took like best engineers from the market, and I used to work for such similar company, and having this background, I really see the added value for like very strong R&D team, which is implementing very fast the requirements from the customer side. So we have few investors who really invest the money. So this is also the time schedule when the company was established. You can see how fast it was growing. Right now it's over 1,000 employees on board, which focusing on like 65 markets at this moment. So this vision which was driving right now allows us to enter on the stock exchange list, which will once again allow us to hire more engineers to develop new ideas, because at this moment this is the company which is trying to hear the voice of the installers. So generally the path of growing company starting with 2022, but mid of the 2023 we start to sell first products, and we jumped into Eastern market at the very beginning of 2024 with the first sales, with establishing our collaboration strongly with Keno. And thanks of that, right now we can say we are the fastest growing company in the market, especially considering the sales numbers which we achieved last year and right now how fast we are growing, and our market share in some specific markets. Right now we have over 100 distributors be present in nearly 70 or 80 countries at this moment. So this is our map of the partners which we already has established. So we are really present across all over the world, and I'm so happy because I would say our team is growing, but happy in that sense. We are just right now approaching new markets. Our team will be growing steadily. We are supposed to establish the headquarters for Eastern Europe in Warsaw, and from this headquarters just to support our neighboring countries, trying to help our partners to just approach the market to offer the best products. What we can actively see, and as beginning of this year, we implemented above 50,000 inverters all across the world. Right now, we can say it's above 100,000 batteries, which was shipped to customers. It's working already on site with very different scenarios. So on-grid, off-grid, with full backup, where the customer has very specific needs. You can see on the top left corner some first project which was established in Europe, some like 3 MWh in Spain, as well our EV charging stations, and we are very thankful for our customers to just give us a chance to try. And with this chance, I can just say about some sales results right now. Last year, we finished with 2 billion yuan sales, which was the fastest, and this is the reason I have said the fastest growing company, because just like 2 years between establishing and revenue sales. This is the final slide about the company itself. It had to do that, and right now I'd like to focus on our product. This is more or less full roadmap of the products which we have at this moment. Some of them are already fully certified for even your markets. Right now we are working to certify another product. So generally we very similarly divide the market to 3 main segments: so residential, C&I, and utility. Generally, knowing how the market is strong competition on the residential market from the very beginning, we were trying to target bigger residential scenario and C&I. This was our first target in the market, and so just from the perspective of the product, I'd like to just show you Sigen Store as a product was defined to fit some specific need on the market when there is high reliable product with full backup with AI modes integrated. And with the time being, right now we have implemented full series first references for some C&I products, which is C&I inverters up to 125 kilowatt nominal power. And we are just right now working on some utility case scenarios to implement and show to the market new products. But first, before we even approach the market, we tried to define what are the real needs and why the company and which path the company is supposed to go on. So we have found very specifically some time frames for the development of the market. So first, it was just generation of the PV, where there was simple PV inverters sufficient for the market to approach. The second generation starts when the hybrid inverters appear on the market, and the storage was like added value as an option. However, right now we are entering the market where there is sufficient amount of the PV. Depending on the markets and their development, I can say from the perspective of Polish market, we just approach some threshold when their negative pricing has been established. So this is a new problem in the market, and generally the storage itself is just becoming a crucial need for further development. And since we have some experience from other markets, we are seeing the storage will be crucial to just implement in plenty of the scenarios. And since from there, we are just willing to implement this storage. We are just willing to implement this storage to make it simple, to reimagine the storage, just to implement additional features, considering some new features. I mean, like EMS system, which will be included inside the inverter, new way how to control inverter itself, and master slave applications. I mean, like how to make the bigger installation. So this was the crucial start of defining the company itself. And today on the presentation, I'd like just to show you our residential portfolio, residential scenario, what we have achieved and which products are already available to cater the market demands. So our first and general product is the Sigen store.
Yeah. Hi, Marcin. So after residential, that in Hungary, the C&I segment will grow because Jedlik annual subsidy will start soon in the next few months. So after residential, probably we also should focus on the C&I solutions of Sigenergy.
Yeah, so that's great because
really hot topic for us.
Yeah, because I have discussed as well some residential market, it's sometimes closing and some C&I market will be opening. And if you just give me a few moments, I would like to show you some perfect examples how to approach some C&I markets, like 100 kilowatt hour, 200 kilowatt hours, even 500 kilowatt hours, with very simple product which can be just exactly cater to the customer needs. So let me continue. Just Sigen Store was our key product going to the market. It was first full 5-in-1 solution, just implementing together the storage and the battery for the first time, just to reimagining how the whole product could look like in clear view. There is a new product series which will be targeting some smaller markets, which was Sigen hybrid inverters and Sigen micro inverters. Right now, we are waiting for the certification for this product. So how the Sigen store look like and how this history has started. So first, so like batteries, starting with the battery, we first defined different kind of the cells, connect so each cell to provide higher warranty time. So just at that moment when we were developing the market, 280 ampere hours cell was kind of the standard. And the problem with that is like it has low voltage, generally 3.2 volts, and we need to connect it to the inverter, which demands 600 volts. So in most of the scenarios so far, we were using series connections of the battery cells just to achieve the voltage. And so other inverters as well, just defining this category like low voltage, high voltage inverters. We just defined our fully new approach to the market. So we just connect the amount of the cells which weighs below 100 kilograms, which was crucial for easy installation, and make a step up in the battery to connect it directly to the inverter. It could be said it's very similar topology as the optimizers per PV modules. So this kind of the optimizers, it's implemented per each battery, such like you can work with just one battery, 2 batteries, 3 batteries, and each battery is just working independently. So like the product can be easily customized to the customer needs. So from very residential small installations which demand like 5 kilowatt hour on only 5 kilowatt inverter, to the situation when you demand like 50 kilowatt hour and 25 kilowatt inverter. So the full spectrum to be covered through the whole with the one product type. Right now, what we can see from different battery kinds, the first product was delivered on 280 ampere hours, 9 batteries, which gives us exactly 8 kilowatt hours of usable capacity. Right now, the market trend is to change the cells towards 314 ampere hours. So generally, one cell is 1 kilowatt hour. And we are just right now under exchange of those batteries in the production line, and we will implement to the market new product, which will be just with the new battery type and since then with very similar price, just to provide higher capacity to the market. So just I give you information which might be later confusing. 10 kilowatt battery, it's not generally fully 10 kilowatt, it's 9 batteries. Each battery is having around 1 kilowatt hour of usable capacity. In the data sheet, it's very clearly stated how much. It's just purely for the marketing purpose used this number. Please check it carefully once implementing the product to the customer. So we have defined there is a battery. Batteries you can use as much as you wish, and then you could just connect it to the inverter. And this is not the BMS. Previously, the BMS was on the top of the battery generally. Right now, those BMSs are implemented in each battery independently, and this is just an inverter. And this can be confusing for the customers because most of them just asking where the inverter. This is generally the inverter. This is all what you need. Every connection is made internally inside, and there is only AC cable which is demanded to go to AC side. As well, you can integrate PV installations, PV installation with that, such like all inverter can work as a hybrid inverter, and so simplifying the connections. It can have between 2 to 4 MPPTs, and generally starting from 10 kilowatt inverter, it has already 3 MPPTs, so you can achieve 3 or different orientations. Please bear in mind, we suggest at least 6-7 modules, like 200 volts, to start operating correctly. This inverter can also work with optimizers. At this moment, it's Tigo, so even if there is some kind of the requirements, it can work with the optimized scenario. And there is one interesting element which was so far not integrated, and I haven't found any similar solution so far. So this is the common requirements from the markets, especially in China, when electrical cars established to the market, and generally electric cars becoming cheaper than diesel or fuel cars. Electricity, so number of the electric cars can grow rapidly. I'm not sure if it is familiar as well for your market, but generally, for the first time, we have the system which is integrated with the DC charger. What is meaning V2X? It can both utilize the charger to charge a car and to discharge the car to the grid. So as the number of the cars will be growing very rapidly in the market, we can also utilize their capacity to stabilize the grid. And even there can be some kind of the scenario like a blackout, when our car and the car can be utilized as a storage to like increase the time of the backup. And I'm really happy to say, like, it's fully working, fully functional feature. We are just right now testing, and we are just trying to convince our authorities to implement V2X, or vehicle to grid, vehicle to load, vehicle to home, as a new feature. And generally, Sigenergy can be a trusted partner to just show to these authorities how, for example, we can utilize Tesla to be connected to such kind of the system and discharge to the home, discharge fully to the grid, especially during the evening time when the prices are like increasing heavily, and just or either earn on this, but technically speaking, it's just additional feature which can stabilize the system grid. From this part, you can also see the very big advantage of that system, because it can provide full power, not charging from the grid. So what I mean, it can utilize 3 different sources. So PV, storage, and on the rest of the power can be collected from the grid, which at this scenario can significantly limit. In order to provide, let's say, 25 kilowatt, it can have limited power from the grid. And in some other scenario, like Like when there is some sulfurous power from the PV scenario, you can generally charge with exact amount what we have, just not to provide to the grid for, let's say, 0, just to have this amount fully charged to the car. And we are just right now focusing just to implementing these features, testing it, and it's working generally great. So from very beginning, when the product was developed, it was defined as 5-in-1. So, and in the plenty of the marketing materials which we are telling, it's 5-in-1. What is the really 5-in-1 in our definition? So generally we start with the battery and the battery pack, let's say, and in my definition, so there are some batteries needs to be connected to the inverter, so there is a battery PCS, so, or BMS, but each independently, per each battery we have independent PCS, so each battery works separately or additional. In other words, if there is a faulty battery, the system still can work, and we can just exchange one of the batteries. There is no pre-charging situation for this OEM. And generally, with the time being, different degradation of the battery cells, we can connect old and new batteries very easily. And just to increase the capacity of the system, we just take up the inverter, put the new battery, and close the system. And my strong suggestion, if you have such kind of the system, please always bear in mind that the system is in most of the cases growing with the time being, and just save the space on the top of the inverter. So we have the battery BMS. So then we have this charger, like discharging. So we have the inverter as well. Inverter is asymmetrical inverter, so per each phase can work independently. And the last thing is EMS. And I'm thinking, like, especially for the storage, those EMS can be crucial for the market. With the new approach, the EMS is crucial to provide the real savings. At this moment, in most of the cases, it's just improving the self-consumption, but very soon, with the market, when the dynamic tariff becoming much more popular, this is especially from my experience right now in Poland, there is like nearly no interest in that, but Netherlands market is right now 10% of citizens who are fully working on the dynamic tariff. So the pricing, which is variable during the day, it's not cheap, nor expensive. We are just focusing to charge the battery, for example, when there is a cheaper time, and discharge on the moment when there is system, when the prices on the market is more expensive. So providing a real price arbitrage, and just in having the added value from that fact. And EMS, in my opinion, is one of the crucial things which I have at the end of the presentation to show you, like, really added values from that. So from very beginning, and what we thought about the product, it must be simple, especially in terms of the sales. So the sales is the moment when our customer is interested to have the product to the time when he got it. And we were just focusing to limit as much as we can those time. So the product itself is split into, let's say, 100 kilogram boxes. And each time when we have the residential scenario or even C&I scenario, we're trying to have the similar exact boxes on a distributor stock. So you can easily order, even if it's 20 kilowatt hour or 50 kilowatt hour or 200 kilowatt hour, this product is exactly the same. So then we just simply deliver it, and it can be installed in any place where the customer demand. So the environmental requirements for this product, it's very crucial. So it can work outside because it has a heater below the batteries. It can operate easily even with the temperatures minus 20 degrees. and this having IP66, which is meaning the water, fog, and any humidity is not a problem. So it can be easily put outside if the customer demand. It can be put inside because it has additional safety protections, which like it's kind of the demand from the market. The system must be very safe. Next slide. This will be next slide. And so no matter where a customer define the place, we can say, yes, we can install it here, open the boxes and fastly connect each element to in another. So there is no cables inside the batteries, no cables inside the inverter. We are just plug and play the whole system. So the time of the installation more or less took average installer like 1 hour, 1.5 hours, not more than that. And this is my practical experience. Some installers who previously used to work for Victron plus Pylontech, and for 200 kilowatt hours projects, it took them whole week. Right now, they can do 4 or 5 projects per week, because generally 1 day is more than enough for one project. So then the commissioning. So generally during the commissioning, we just scan the QR code, which is on the right hand side of the inverter, through the app. App is called My Sigen app. And on this My Sigen app, you can just add the new system. And this is the crucial, like the very fast commissioning. And generally the time on site, even for like megawatt hour scale project, it is like 15 minutes to commission the whole system on work. During the commissioning, there is a plenty of the problems which might appear. So like orientation of the cables, incorrect connections, like plus or minus, negative pose switch. System is generally on the auto diagnosis, showing what is the problem, and even orientation of the current clamps on the power meter. It is visible from the app. Like you should just change the orientation in order to have it correctly placed. So the very fast commissioning time allows us to achieve and to install like projects even 200, 300 kilowatt hours in just 1 day. Active safety protection. So how we define the system safety additional or another way. So instead of safety, I would like to discuss about the insurance generally, because at the end of the day, the firefighter and insurance company can approve or not the project. So what we found out from our experience, especially insurance company, are asking what will happen in case of thermal runaway in the system. Thermal runaway is like a process of burning the batteries internally. We just claiming like LFP batteries are the safest one, but generally they can also occur the fire accidents and thermal runaway in case we have achieved threshold temperature for the battery. So generally this is kind of the testing process. We put the resistor, we are heating up the battery and observe the thermal runaway and how this thermal runaway process will occur in the whole system. And generally, if you have container solutions, which at this moment is the most common scenario in the market, insurance companies generally asking what will happen in such kind of scenario, and then estimate the cost of the insurance per this system. So generally, our experience from Western Europe, container solution is very hard to be put inside the buildings. Generally, insurance companies are afraid and not willing to put such kind of the system inside the buildings. So generally, there must be safety zone defined, the safety wall, firewall to put the system outside. In our definition, we just define the storage. It's kind of the crucial element for the market where there is high demand, and we have to allow customers to put it inside the buildings. So we redefine the level of the safety systems. So what our HQ thought from very beginning is just to split like container solution into individual elements and implement safety per this element, and ensure like fire and the temperature will not go outside closed protection of the battery, so that we have like 9 battery cells, which each battery is insulated by each other by resistive pads. There is a isolating pad around the system. There is a decompressive valve on the left-hand side. There is a fire extinguishing heat, which is aerosol, which it's like a fume when the temperature rises above 170 degrees inside. And there is a temperature detection. But generally, overall, I would say, even in case of the scenario when there is some accident internally, especially thermal runaway, the only thing which is happening for the batteries is to have the fume going outside, which can be flammable. So that's the additional requirements for such kind of a system. But generally, like safety protection, especially for the insurance company, we just claiming the exchange element, it's 2,000 euro, and with this fact, the whole system can, for example, even stay inside the building. So this is what has happened in countries like Netherlands. Insurance companies asked us for some documents, some certification, like UL 9540, where there is thermal runaway tests. And we showed and confirmed like this could be a new standard for the market. Instead of putting the battery cells in the container, and in case of any accident, whole container can be filled with water, and we have the high loss of the in our capex. We just have additional type of the protection, which is implementing safety per battery, and this like independent units. So we have just multiple units put inside one system. So additionally, there's different layers of the inverter itself, but I just like to show like a residential current monitoring unit, AFCI, which is generally very well known. There is additional ground DC ground bus protection. This was additional feature which I haven't found it in any other manufacturer at this moment. So this is additionally protecting our TNC type inverter, and those inverters can be simply easily connected to the already existing 400 volts installations. From reliability of the system and the warranty, there is a common question how many cycles it can work. So generally we change the cells to 314 at this moment. So manufacturer of 314 ampere cells, which is CATL at this moment, EV or REPT, provide confirmation. This is estimated cycles number is 10,000. I mean like 10,000 because by end of the life of this battery we define 60% of state of health or state of health. So from preliminary or beginning capacity, if the battery achieves 60% of that, it's end of life. And in meanwhile, it can do even 10,000 cycles. Just giving you an example, if we do one cycle charge and discharge, so this is one cycle charge and discharge, one per day, 3,000 in 10 years, so 10,000 can be like really 27 years. So this is like long period of lifetime per battery. And generally it can provide full capacity, usable capacity, full depth of discharge, so you can utilize full 100% of that. Additional one which can be implemented, but I would like to say it's more SolarEdge kind of the marketing. It's just safe system. So we have low voltage due to the fact there is only 9 batteries, so total voltage on the DC bus when the system is not connected, it's less than 35-40 volts. Previously it was commonly used more numbers of the serial connections in smaller batteries. such like the voltage was higher. If we define the safety voltage in the wet conditions 60 volts, so our threshold, our system fit, the other system might have a problem with the threshold of stable DC bus voltage. What we have defined as well, this is DC charger as an additional element, and we have already tested with success plenty of the cars. I have in person tested 4 or 5 different cars in Poland, and it's really additional feature which can be for the customers which do really care about some additional value of the product. So utilize the capacity of the car to increase the capacity of your general system in-house, and just have the longer backup just in case of any accidents, or utilize in some grid application scenarios. So just you can expand the capacity having this this in mind. But generally, in most of the scenarios right now, customers is using just AC charger, and it's also implemented in our products. So you can have 7, 11, and 22 kilowatt inverter AC chargers. Sorry. And those AC chargers are like one of the key elements in the system. And for example, it can charge a surplus power which is supposed to go to the grid just directly to the car. It has IP65 protection, can be installed very easily outside. It's a good, very good, nice looking element for the system. And in such kind of a scenario where the customer is focusing on functionality, but as well the pricing, we just suggest this AC charger. There are different types of the AC chargers, one without cable, second with cable. I'm just giving some reminder or just information. We suggest to utilize the version with the cable. It's just simpler for operating mode. One of the key advantage or disadvantage, from the other hand, might be our backup feature. We don't have a backup port inside the inverter, but we defined like the system from the gateway perspective. So gateway is additional device which has to be connected on the entrance of the home. And in case of the blackout of grid outage, it's just creating the island mode operation for whole the system. And at this moment, this gateway exists in the version of starting from residential, from 30 kilowatt, 60 kilowatt, 180 kilowatt, up to 2.4 megawatts. So we can have full range of the scenarios. Why I'm saying this is a kind of the advantage and disadvantage. Disadvantage because in other scenarios, sometimes inverters has the backup port inside the inverter, which makes the system a little bit cheaper, especially in very small residential scenario. But our product was targeting some C&I and especially bigger C&I scenarios. In such case, there is a problem when they're willing to have like 50, 100 kilowatt backup power. In our system is very simple because we have exactly one element which is disconnecting the system from the grid, and you can have numerous of the inverters working in parallel, such like we can provide backup feature. And what is really astonishing is 0 millisecond backup time, because the inverter, it's strictly connected to the loads, and generally in low voltage right through as a function, it's just providing the feature to keep the whole system stably working, and the gateway is just element which is disconnecting to the grid. So I see very big advantage in the system like 50, 60, 100 kilowatt when you can have multiple of the inverters, and you generally see like key advantage for overall system, and just the whole C&I scenario can work very stable. Granular management, what is the meaning? So as I have said, so far previously in most of the scenarios, batteries were connected in series just to increase the voltage, and there was one BMS as a battery management system. And in case of such kind of the products, every time when you're willing to connect the new batteries, there must be some pre-charging scenario, or if the so this is very similar as per PV modules. Once the optimizers is demanded because shaded modules is working differently, in that case it's very similar. Different batteries can it can have different state of charge, and it has to some process to pre-charge. So there is some kind of leak of the capacity in the system, and it cannot work fully. We cannot utilize full capacity, utilized capacity of the system. So from the very beginning, we were thinking how to exchange this scenario with the battery optimizers and put those battery optimizers per each battery. So this is the key element to redefine Sigenergy and Sigenstore product from very beginning. So we put those battery optimizers per each battery pack, such like you can connect easily different kind of the batteries system to one system, because just it allows us to optimize the system operation. So you can have old batteries with the new batteries, some smaller capacities with bigger capacities. So generally the whole system allows us to utilize different type of the batteries independently and flexibly mix different kinds. As well, if you increase the capacity, you just put the inverter up, put the new battery, put the inverter down, and the whole system will stabilize and work immediately from that moment. There will be new product in our portfolio, especially focusing on the price-oriented market, especially our Eastern Europe. It is really demanding such kind of the product right now. We are there is supposed to be some deliveries by the end of the year. This will be new, our hybrid inverter. So generally, previously the inverter was on the top. Right now, this needs some additional connections and BC controller, and it will be just up to 12 kilowatt scenario. So between 3 to 12 kilowatts in this, especially residential scenarios, will have additional tool to fight and we are seeing if there will be there might be some demand, but I don't willing to focus that much, especially from the fact there is still under certification product. Second, it's still under delivery, but we expect it by the end of the year to have it on stock. And as well, the microinverter scenario, because we have defined still there is a problem with the orientation where it's below 5 modules, and Sigenergy will have our own solution, especially for the balcony, small installations where there is like 2, 3, 4 modules with different orientations. And this microinverter solution will be between 400 to 1 kilowatt solution. And big advantage will be fast commissioning, EMS, which will be inside, and Wi-Fi mesh network, which is meaning if the one of the micro optimizers will be microinverters will be in access to local Wi-Fi, the system can just connect to this local Wi-Fi, and the rest of the system will connect internally. But this is the end of the year. So let me just show you what is really interesting part. So this is my Sagen app. The my Sagen app is after the webinar, I can provide some check testing access for you to see how the system is visible, how you can test it yourself. And the key added values I'd like to say from very beginning. So it was more so implementing new features which so far was not available on the market. So so far we mostly have operating modes which implement improve self-consumption. Then there was time of use, there was fully fed to grid, and those most of the scenarios just rely on the fact there was a power meter in the grid connection point. There was no information about the dynamic change of the prices. and no forecast for the weather. And Sigen AI mode was one of the key elements, so key EMS feature, which was implemented at the first as a new management inside the system. Then real-time monitoring for whole elements. So it's like batteries. You can check the state of health of the battery, how much battery has discharged already, and you can compare it with the warranty. Because in our warranty we have throughput energy defined, not generally the cycles. It's much easier to control. So how many energy does the system already provide to the grid? There is one key element which I really like at this moment is ChatGPT. So we have redefined the service problems. So far, if you have any problems on site, you generally try to approach some service guy, but there is limited time when the service is open, and second, it's limited for their internal knowledge, and it was quite expensive for the companies to just have the right service person who can support. So from very beginning, we found out like AI at itself is generally changing our view on the market, and a chatbot was implemented to the system. At first, it was just if you were asking and your language you were asking the questions, it was just immediately finding the right answer in the manual, right answer in frequently asked questions. But right now, it is also implemented with the new features, so deep thinking. What is deep thinking itself? You are asking very simple question: why my system is charging or why my system is discharging, and the system is just checking variables and different connections. And by this, it's just giving you the right information why, for example, there is negative tariff, so the system is not providing power to the grid, or there is very high price in the market at this moment, so the system will discharge to the grid, and later on it will use the power from the grid, and generally it starts to work very nice. And there is new feature which right now it's helping installers to monitor the system itself. It's Sankey diagrams, so it's showing directly the source of energy. In that case, it can be solar, it can be third-party inverters. So the system as well is very suitable for retrofit scenario. So the installations where you have, for example, SolarEdge or microinverters, and you are just willing to add the storage system, such like you can monitor how many, what is the generation of the other elements in the system. It can work in parallel, so you just increase the size of the PV installation with already existing installations, and you just merge them in one system. You can monitor how much the battery was charged, discharged. There are some so additional sources like vehicle. I have this in Poland in some installations as well. So how many we have discharged the car to the system. There is option to work with some diesel generators. So as a third source, in case of blackout, we can have the full stable system operating, but generally the battery is quite expensive. And then, for example, we defining the time of the backup for, like, say 30 minutes, and meanwhile automatically the diesel generator will start. And even it can be co-generator, because I have some reference sites where there is kind of the generator with generating both electricity and heat, and this system can work even in such kind of the scenario. And the rest of the what we see from the grid. So if you press on each of the elements, you can see our today's generation and how much it goes to battery, to the loads, and how much it was provided to the grid. And you can just monitor later how much from this was how the system was just providing the energy, considering like day, month, and even week, month. So fully new view of the from the market. And even in a real time, you can check, if you press on the batteries, how much of the energy in the battery, depending on this charging, is coming from the different source, how many was coming from solar, how many was coming from the grid, and later on the system is just defining what was the cost of the energy and which kind of the energy prefer to utilize at first for the calculation purpose, just to optimize the system mode. There is additional one element which it's really nice, so making the smart home thanks to utilizing something which is called Shelly. Shelly is a device which you can be connected to plug into the to your plugs, and thanks to that you can just monitor or just control additional sources like some loads, like some heaters, and if there is some sulfurous power, you can just define in the app, depending on some state of charge, you can insist on the system like to discharge or to utilize the additional source like a PV to some loads, defined loads, or you can even define the type of the loads, which load has the priority to be started, and you can just inside in the app change the scheduling for the batteries. ChatGPT, I have said more or less. I would just to give you an example from Poland, which is one of my examples. We have so far what we have achieved in this installation. So previously, the customer use fixed tariff and install PV installations, and we achieved a significant drop in the prices because the PV installation was generating some added value in terms of the source of the PV. But what we found out, especially in the September when we were monitoring, the PV is not sufficient, so we add the storage, and the storage in the maximum self-consumption working generally in that sense, like there is sulfurous power, it was charging the battery, and only then discharge during the evening time. The capacity of the storage was not sufficient, and generally we have achieved only 10 full cycles per month. I mean, September, which is generally still quite sunny month, but there was only 10 days which we fully charged the system. I mean, the overall loads of the overall loads were 10 kilowatt. PV installation was 20 kilowatt peak, and we couldn't charge fully the storage with which was 30 kilowatt hour battery. And then we have changed in October the operating mode to AI. AI, which customer as well demands change the fixed prices to spot prices. So he's purchasing differently electricity from the market. And what we have achieved, it was quite surprising. Even during the winter, when there was not so many sunny days, system starts to behave very unpredictable at first, I would say, because generally when there was a sunny day and it was not sufficient for instant consumption, generally system preferred from the PV to charge the battery and utilize the grid at first, because what we found out later, there was a drop in the prices and like a valley, and then in the end of the day, when there was a peak of the prices, system preferred to use the PV energy at the end of the day. And generally what we found out, it was quite interesting. The system has done nearly 46 cycles per month, so more or less one and a half cycle per day. So generally not 1.5, it's like between 1 and 2. Sometimes when there was only one cycle, but generally it could do even 2 cycles per day, which was quite surprisingly how when we started, and we couldn't understand fully why it is doing that. But generally, the batteries just started to work and do something. And we found out in the bills, generally at the end of the month, the monthly bill drops like 40%. At the end, we just understand. So the system preferred to charge and utilize the electricity when it was cheap, and even sell out the electricity from the PV installation to the grid at the end of the day when it was quite expensive. And it was surprisingly. And right now we have the results from months like April and May. And it is even more surprisingly because in April, we achieved something which we can say zero cost for electricity. It could be achieved generally because for systems which have PV and storage, we can limit the output energy. But what was strange for us, we haven't achieved it with zero consumption from the grid. The number of the consumption of rate of that, it's like 90 something percent some days. So system is not defining and not willing to achieve 100% of self-consumption. It's generally preferring to charge from the grid when there is some negative tariff, and especially in the evening time to sell the electricity to the grid when there is quite expensive time. And May was very surprisingly for us because generally overall cost of the electricity is negative. So the really AI mode show us it's working very fine, and right now we are observing quite big interest in the market for such kind of a scenario, especially in the residential and some C&I customers. So like really impressive, and we can say only AI mode is utilized in the Western countries right now, like 40 something percent of our customers is really preferring to utilize AI mode as one of the key source, key elements in like key added value in this installation. Apart from the app for your phone, there is web browser operating OEM platform. It's very interesting for some installers just to get more information, like the voltage in the system. It depends depending on the time. So I'm just giving the information. There is some additional place where you can have more information about your system, and in that system you can as well having something which is bonded relation with your distributor. Each time when you purchase the product, you can collect some points and later on redeem those points for the new product. Especially when you are a new installer, you can benefit from those some projects where you can have you can redeem or exchange the points to the new products for free. This is generally all of my presentation. I'm very thankful for your time. I have seen some questions. Maybe it's the right time to answer for them. David, are you present with me?
Yes, of course. Question about the depth of discharge for the 10K battery.
Okay, so 10,000 cycles, it's something which we have the warranty from the manufacturer of the cells. Most of the times we use EV or CATL cells. So this is the strictly put inside of the data sheet of the battery. So it's not our warranty generally. Our warranty, David, I can ask. So it's not purely our warranty. Our warranty is defined in our web page. Okay. I think I have somewhere link to a web page, and maybe I will put in the chat. But generally, in our warranty documents, it's defined throughput energy, which is easier to monitor. It's in each battery, it's defined. It has defined throughput energy. More or less, it's 3,000 cycles at this moment. which we defined, and the overall warranty is per 10 years. So we have the product warranty for 10 years, plus the state of health warranty, expected to be for more or less 10 years, with everyday cycle.
Okay, thank you. I just turning Hungarian for a little. Ha van még bármilyen kérdés, azt most még nyugodtan írhatjátok chatbe, és még egy promóciót is meg akartunk mutatni nektek. Elvileg, ha minden igaz, akkor látni fogjátok most az én képernyőmet. A B2B-n látni fogjátok, hogy van egy promóciónk, ingyenes kiszállítás minden Sigenergy termékre, ami azt mondja, hogy nem csak a Sigenergy termékekre, hogyha bármilyen rendszert vásároltok Sigenergy termékkel, akkor azt is ingyen szállítjuk ki. Tehát, hogyha a rendelésben van legalább egy akkumulátor vagy egy inverter a Sigenergy-től, akkor annak a rendelésnek a kiszállítása ingyenes. Okay, I just showed that we are offering free delivery in Hungary for Sigenergy products, and systems, full systems, if fit with Sigenergy, we deliver it for free in Hungary. Akkor úgy látom, hogy nincs több kérdés, akkor köszönjük szépen a részvételt, és a későbbiekben is bármikor tudtok minket keresni, bármilyen egyéb kérdés van a termékekkel, vagy a promócióval kapcsolatban. Jó, köszönöm a figyelmet. So, thank you for your presence. If there is not any more question, in later you also can find us and just let us know.
The world is entering a new era of energy.
And I'm leaving at the end the video. If David, you can play the video, and I would just, for the end of the presentation, give the information about some reference sites, and this will be the end of our presentation for today. Okay, the video is more or less 6 minutes.
From climate shifts to rising demands,
with this 6 minutes,
solar and storage become essential.
Show you the project which we have delivered so far.
Sigenergy builds intelligent energy solutions with all-round safety, ultra simplicity, and outstanding performance.
It was a very
powering smarter living and business everywhere.
Very low temperature project where there was projects.
In the commercial and industrial sector, what makes Sigenergy truly stand out?
This was the latest project in Bulgaria, 20 megawatt hour project with the new inverters and the new batteries. We have a pleasure to be out there with the group this month, the beginning of this month. If you need some reference site visits, please be welcome, we can arrange. This is a project in Belgium at this moment for 100 kilowatt.
Modular design allows for flexible scaling while simplifying installation.
With this hydrogen stack, it's a new product we are waiting right now for.
Commissioning is also faster, reducing both time and cost.
Visible in the kennel, available in the kennel. We have some first reference product. Hydrogen stack is a new product for C&I, which we will be promoting as soon as the certification will be finalized. Next project.
Safety isn't just what we value, it's what we engineer. Sigenergy's business energy solution is built with comprehensive, uncompromising protection to perform reliably even in the harshest environments.
Nearly 1 megawatt hour. The biggest backup project which we have at this moment, which is South Africa, it's 2.4 megawatt backup power. There is a 2 megawatt hour project in Spain. Once again, we have the pleasure to be with the Chemical Place at the very beginning of last year. It's winery project with backup as well. So additional projects reference in the city center, shopping mall above 1 megawatt hour, especially on the site installed product. You can just see how easily it can be fit to some demand. So additional 400 kilowatt hour in Spain, 400 South Africa, the reference site, warehouse that you can see easily how you can implement it. And the projects on C&I, especially, which right now we see very big interest, so some C&I, 200 to 300 hours. Africa, fully off-grid scenario, luxury projects, where the commissioning time is just 1 day. The system can work fully outside, so the Netherlands project, 120 hours. Generally, it was tested switching time.
At the heart of Sigenergy's BSS is advanced AI, designing to think, adapt, and optimize. It brings our customers a new level of intelligence for energy systems that truly understand and respond.
Behind this is the bigger gateway, some peak shaving project in the Spain, so allowing customer just to avoid the situation when they're charging too much energy, and the system just to protect the maximum consumption.
Even in solar-only scenarios, the system is battery-ready, designed for seamless storage integration whenever needed.
Just installation, just the product, something like inverters, 125 kilowatt. This is for the first time fully hybrid inverter, so you can connect both PV and batteries on the DC side. Other reference sites which will be a little smaller.
In the residential scenario, Sigenergy brings light, comfort, and peace of mind to homes around the world. Whether it's a centuries-old building or a school in mountains, Sigenergy brings reliable energy into the rhythm of daily living.
The most common right now, 50 kilowatt, 80 kilowatt hours for those two sites and so products working in parallel. If you need some dummies for the project, you can also ask for the bathroom near the market, which can help provide some dummies to your project. Thank you very much for your time. I hope it was helpful.
By empowering homes and businesses, Sigenergy is not just shaping the future, it's transforming the way we live and thrive. Let everyone enjoy green energy and creating a world where energy independence is a reality for all.